I can't, like, I don't understand how it took me 10 years to get to that book.
Hello everyone, it's Lance here and Petia, and we are having an awesome conversation on the top 3 tips for mental wellness as well as mindset and why that's so important. And so this is specifically for the ladies. So all the women out there, if you're watching, love you, thank you for watching, and all the guys out there, hey, you might learn something new as well if you got a significant other, and or invite your significant other to watch this as well. I have a mostly female audience on my social media platforms. It's like 70 to 80% women.
Yeah.
And one of the things is, I saw on one of my Facebook timeline, and it was a couple women who were going through cancer. So cancer, heart disease, autoimmune disease, weight loss, as well as, just hormonal balance are what women are looking for solutions for. And it's hard because there's a lot of stuff out there, and how do you know what to choose, right?
Yeah, there's always so much information, and it doesn't matter like what you're looking for, you will get 10,000 different answers. So sometimes it's really overwhelming, and I feel like people try and fail because it's not right for them, and they keep trying and then they get burned out, and it makes them even more frustrated and even more unhealthy, and they're looking for quick fixes after that.
Right, yeah. I was talking to a woman today, and she's 55 years old, and she's already gone through menopause. And she's like, hey, I'm struggling with my weight. I have, belly fat that wasn't there before, and it's harder to lose weight. She's like, I'm working out, I'm trying to eat healthier, so what's up? And, some things to consider are metabolism, as well as your T3 and T4 hormone levels. And she doesn't want to go the synthetic route, for medications and stuff, but there's got to be a natural way for her to do that. And so we're talking about different solutions because there's so many women who are struggling with their thyroid and need support.
My mom too, I remember that she was struggling all her life because the thing is that she was always on diet. So her metabolism logically slowed down, and then it's really hard because your metabolism slows down and it feels like you're fighting your body instead of being in harmony and alignment.
Right. Yeah, how do we, unlock what we basically have in us to find a solution? So one of the solutions that I recommend most is find the root cause. So a lot of times there's going to be symptom masking, and what that comes with side effects. Typically, if you're using a synthetic solution over the counter or prescription, you're going to have resistance buildup as well as liver or kidney toxicity. So it's so important that we look to the root cause and not just mask or try to cover up stuff.
But how do you find the root cause by yourself? Do you just think about what are my symptoms and go back to the Google, or?
That's right. This isn't the information age, right? So you got Google, you got YouTube. But one of the ways that I recommend most is getting a blood test. And so there's lots of different blood tests. You can get live blood cell analysis, you can get blood tests for allergies, you can get blood tests for nutritional deficiencies, and you can get blood tests for, your T3, T4 hormone levels and a lot of other stuff.
What is that?
So
T3,
so those are the hormones that help regulate the thyroid, and the thyroid is one of the ways that your body can help regulate metabolism. And so basically it's important to have hormones in balance, and your thyroid can basically get lazy if it's gets older, or if it's not being, it's not in a healthy state, or if it gets too many synthetics. It can get lazy.
Okay. Wow.
There you go.
Didn't know that.
Right?
I didn't know that your thyroid can slow down if you're giving it too many synthetic things, because isn't it in everything and everywhere?
Yeah, they are, right? It's kind of like, the only thing I can think of is if you're given too much food, then you're going to have less incentive to maybe go grocery shopping or go to the restaurant. So if you just got a truckload of food delivered to you, you would have zero incentive to want to work for your food. And that's kind of what synthetic drugs do with the thyroid, is you're given a bunch of different synthetic forms of the hormones, and your thyroid doesn't have an incentive to want to work.
That's really interesting.
That's right. And then the number 2 solution is basically get a second opinion, because so many people go to the MD, which is great. In America though, doctor's king, and I call it white coat syndrome. My mom is really big into just, it's hard for her to say no to somebody in a really nice office and stuff like that. And
the professionals, right? So I feel like it's the same like my mom. She just texted me today. She was like, you're always advising everyone and you never advise me. I'm like, Mommy, I'm like trying to help you for years,
Right.
but I'm not professional. So she doesn't listen. And then
Right.
she goes to professionals. I'm like, they have a schools. They know what they are doing. Let me listen to them. How did that work out for you?
Right. Well, a lot of them aren't trained on nutrition, so that's one of the main problems. And food is the oldest form of medicine, and so it's so important that we keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, second opinion also can come from naturopaths, homeopaths, chiropractors, licensed health professionals that can help people go from where they are to where they want to be. And it's important to compare notes. And I always I use this analogy with realtors, but I always say like, your body is the only home you have to live in, so it's important you don't sell yourself short. And so there's a lot of like double meanings in there, right?
Yes.
But it's so important. Like if a house needs a new roof, plumbing, electrician, anything, we usually go to Yelp or Angie's List or some type of referral, and we get multiple price quotes and make phone calls. And,
That's true.
But when it comes to our body, which is like a home, are we getting second, third, and fourth, and even fifth opinions from people? And oftentimes no, because it costs more time and more money.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned earlier, a lot of people just want the quick fix.
Yeah.
So
many people are looking for a band-aids, and like we mentioned, people trust still the professionals. I was just working on here, a local producer of TV show. She was interviewing a lady that in the 90s she got like yearly checking. They test her blood. They told her she's HIV positive, and in that time she found out she was also pregnant.
Oh wow.
So she had to let go of her baby because they told her that she's sick, and so she was struggling with depression and many weeks and months. And then it was her dad who was telling her, why don't you go and don't you get a second opinion? This just doesn't seem right, because she was only with one partner, and one before they both tested negative. She wasn't with anyone else. She was like, it's just weird. So she got a second opinion, and they told her that she's healthy.
What?
Yes, and it was in the 90s, so
Oh
they
goodness.
mess up the blood test. So imagine that, you trust professionals so much, and mistakes happens. We are humans, even with technology. But I think it's really crucial, like you said, get a second opinion. And for me, you're more like scientific and proof and fact.
Yeah.
Me, I tap into the feeling. Does it feel right? Because it just doesn't seem right. So listen to your intuition too. Sometimes it is negating what's true, but how can you say yes to something if it doesn't align with you? How can you say and trust with your life and your body to one person?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I would say even, guys, it's typically said, are more logical and women are more emotional. But I would still say even when you use logic and facts to try to make decisions, we're still all chasing a feeling. Like the ability to use facts to come to an accurate conclusion about something is making me feel comfortable about that decision, or it's making me feel confident about that decision, or it's making me feel like I can move forward. And so there is some feeling always at the end of something, and that's a lot of the reason why I wrote my book. It's called The 30-Day Guide to Reducing Stress at Work, and it's all about being emotionally aware and emotionally intelligent, and just knowing what we're feeling.
Yeah.
And so, when women are going through specific things, or just, people in general, it's so important that we kind of stop and think about how we're feeling. And one technique that I like to use, because the number 3 tip, if you're wondering, is choose something natural. And one natural solution is basically being able to have a little verbal exercise. So if, let's say, somebody cuts me off on the road, because sometimes people drive fast, right, or crazy.
We live in Vegas, guys. For those who don't live in Vegas, it's a wild here on the roads.
That's right. Not you though, right?
I'm driving very safe.
That's cool.
It's safe.
It's good answer. All right. So for all the other people that drive a little, crazy, sometimes if they cut me off or something, usually I'm okay. But sometimes if I haven't eaten or I had little, less sleep, I'm more irritable.
Yeah.
And so if I feel that way, the first thing I want to do is I notice myself thinking about feeling irritated.
Oh my gosh, we will have to put it later on in the comment notes, because I truly loved it. I'm reading right now Jack Canfield, and I'm sure you read his Success Principles.
I'm reading it. It's my 4th time right now.
Well, I'm on the first one. I was like, I can't, like, I don't understand how it took me 10 years to get to that book. You know, like,
Yeah.
it's like so me, everything I believe in. I'm like, so he's talking about like